Hello and welcome back to the Cellphone Philosopher episode 3, bite-sized knowledge for people on the go. My name is Timur Jacob, and so I went to an entrepreneurs group last night, and it was a brilliant group, and one of the table topics was, how do we not get our product copied? How do we develop something, if it's an app or a business, and make it so that people don't copy our idea? We can go recruit great people in networking events, meet great people, get feedback about our idea, and just not be copied. And there was a lot of opinions on this around the table, and one of the key pieces of advice that I gave the gentleman was, don't make the mistake of thinking that the product the product is what you're selling, because 90% of it is selling yourself. You're the business, right? At the end of the day, bottom line, it's you that puts the work in, gets up every day, puts the hours in, and someone's got to be passionate enough about the business to get up every day and do it. I mean, I'm working super hard on my business right now. And, if you're really passionate about, the business that you want to set up, it's a lot of work. And I doubt that, it's very, very doubtful that that person would have the same passion and drive and motivation and work ethic and thirst for learning that you do. So be very aware of that. And just don't make the mistake of thinking that most people are like you and think the way that you do and have your vision, because they don't have your vision in really most of the cases. It's very rare that anyone would have your vision. So don't be afraid of that. And just know that you have 6 months, really. If you're doing an app, you've got about 6 months till the copycats come in. And actually, one of the guys at the table was saying how, people try to copy his business, and they didn't have the same knowledge as him, and they completely flopped. So an interesting story is, Snapchat, when Snapchat was getting started at kind of the inception phase, and they were just starting to get big, Mark Zuckerberg essentially came in and said, we're going to squash you guys, and that really didn't sit well with the founder, Evan Spiegel. So he bought everybody a copy of The Art of War. And Mark Zuckerberg was saying, well, even the like sign outside the Facebook campus, we're going to change to a poke sign. And this poke app is exactly the same as Snapchat. And we're going to squash you. And actually what happened was, all they ended up doing is they launched their app. It got a bunch of downloads for a week. And it was exactly like Snapchat with disappearing messages and video. And it basically completely flopped after a week, and it just gave a hell of a lot of publicity to Snapchat and what they were doing. So it actually ended up boosting the downloads of Snapchat inadvertently. So really, don't be afraid of people copying your idea. I get that thought out of your head, and really go and test whether people like your idea. Go and talk to lots of people. And again, someone who really champions this is a guy called Steve Blank, who I'm reading his book right now, 4 Steps to the Epiphany. So he was actually Eric Ries's teacher in Stanford University, who he wrote the Lean Startup book, which was actually essentially notes that he got from Steve Blank's class. So definitely, if you haven't read that and you're starting a business, 4 Steps to the Epiphany, and it really takes you through this phrase called customer development, which is really essential, and it's an essential part before you go into the product development phase, and it's about figuring out who your customer is, who wants to buy from you, and who your customer is and who your market is, and questions you need to ask and research that you need to do in order to get that information before you even think of funding or any kind of scaling or growing your business in any way, or prototyping or anything. Read the book and get the base information down, and you'll save yourself a lot of time and money. So the other key piece of information I would give, about the question about, you're going to networking events, you want to meet people, you're not quite sure how much of your idea to tell them, is be ready to scale your business fast. So have all those influencer connections in place. If there's people that influence people or buying decisions in your market, really know who those people are. Reach out to them and make sure that you can partner with them in a constructive way, so that when push comes to shove and you're ready to really launch your product after your beta test or what have you, you can essentially take your product and get it to market 10 times faster than anyone else and grow it 10 times faster. Know your infrastructure, know how much, try to do some research in your infrastructure, learn how much, how much your costs are going to be every month, and if you have this many users, how much more will your cost be, so it doesn't come as a surprise, and funding doesn't cut you off. and you know at what kind of point that you should be looking to essentially go to the next stage of your business. Anyway, bottom line, don't be afraid of copycats. Expect copycats. Share your ideas freely. Add value to people. And go out there and rock it. And know that essentially you're your business, not your product. It's you, your vision, your clarity, your purpose, your hard work. And I wish you the best. And go out and rock it. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this.